Good day everybody, my name is Awesomecrunch and welcome back to Colony Survival. Now this episode I wanted to showcase a build that I've been working on for a couple of days, and it is a massive ship. And it is entirely invincible. There is no way that a zombie can get onto this boat, meaning that your colony is essentially safe because the only danger you have other than food is zombies, and they can't access us in the water. So you're essentially, you're safe. You've got an invincible colony. However, there's one problem to that, is that it's very difficult to get resources. So you'd have to build like a path all the way back to the land. I'm pretty far away from land. I am in basically the middle of the ocean, which is why it looks good. So yeah, it's not particularly practical, but in a creative sense, I think it's really cool. So I'll take you on a quick tour of it, and I'll take you through what it took to build it, because it was not easy by any stretch of the imagination. It was not an easy build, but it was fun as all hell. So I thought it might be worth sharing with you guys. So this bit up here is my farming area. I have one down there at the front of the ship as well, but this one is just kind of, I needed some more food, so I just thought I should do this. And in case you hadn't noticed already, I do have 3,429,789 food, and that is because I did cheat at the beginning to get my colony going, and I added about 3 million. But since then, it's been getting bigger and bigger, the amount of food, so it is self-sustainable. And yes, that was done with cheats, but it is self-sustainable with the corn and everything that we have. Even though there's a food use of 500 a day, it does actually seem to be going up, which is really good. So, yeah, we've got 100 colonists on this ship, only 53 beds, and I tried to do it exact so that everyone that needed a bed had one, because the guards don't take beds when they sleep, but they need them to be able to spawn. So I just spawned 100 beds, and then got rid of the amount that I needed to allow the rest of them to sleep, but not the guards. So the guards don't have beds, but they don't need them, which is what I like about this. It's quite nice and easy. And in case you're wondering where some of these custom kind of textures are coming from, I think it is the Colony Empire, or the Empire Colony mod, something like that. I'll link it in the description either way. It's a really good mod. It adds some new things like coloured clay, which you can see here. I've given it a white and black stripe, which I think looks pretty cool. It adds quite a lot of things, mostly aesthetic, but it does add... I'm not sure if this jam cutter is already in the game. There's a lot of things I don't know if they're in the game already, because I'm not particularly experienced. I've only got like 5 hours in it. And also, it does actually add these knights, I think, unless that was an update. I literally have no idea. Yeah. So, this is my shop. There's a guy working back here. The reason why I've got these is more of a design choice, because if I got rid of these, because they take up a whole block, they don't allow him to stand here and use that side of it. And I wanted him to go around the other side so it looked a bit more like a shop, so I put these here, and you can't walk into them because they're entire blocks. So if there's anything in this video that isn't in the base game, you know I got it from the mod because it's the only thing I've installed so far. And the modding community for this is very much alive, which is really cool. So I tried to add as much realism as I could to the thing. I've got a guy working on some, I think it's science he's doing. He's a technologist he's doing there. So I got a guy in there as well because it just makes it look a little bit more lively. And I do have an employment rate of 100%, which is a lot better than you can say for a lot of other countries. This guy is my crafter. He's always moaning about not having something, and I just can't be bothered to supply him with it, so he just stays here all day, moaning. This is the captain's quarters, which is where he counts the money and makes the money, I guess, and some aesthetic stuff. He has a bed in here as well, but for some reason he doesn't use it. The guy next door does. It's this guy that uses it, which is strange because he's closer. So I don't know. I don't know why he does that. But yeah, I wanted that guy to sleep in it, but it seems that the green guy has overtaken the captain. The captain quite often sleeps in the lower quarters, and I will get down there in a second. So, this bit is just random stuff. I needed to create more jobs so that I had an employment rate of 100%, so all this stuff is basically just random. I think these came with the mod pack as well, the anvils. They look really cool. This is my main farm. This is flax here, and this is corn. So we use that for the bread. Most of the bread making is downstairs, but as you can see, there is quite a bit of it up here. There's my knight at the front, just protecting the front from any possible invaders that would climb up the front for no reason. And this is the way I get downstairs. It's not the best design, but it works, because the guys can actually get up it. So it works quite well. And as you can see, I think we have 34 bowmen, because there are 34 squares, holes in the side of the boat, I think. 17 on each side. And it's really cool, because if you go outside, then you can actually see them looking out, and they're like kind of like cannon men, but old-fashioned. Well, not old-fashioned, actually, but more ineffective, because they're using arrows. But just in case a zombie happened to swim across, which I don't think they can do, I don't think they can swim, meaning this is fully invincible. This is my main bread baking area. It's got all the stuff you need, so grindstones, it's got 4 furnaces, so that we can have optimum bread production. Got some windows as well, let a bit of light in. This is like a secondary bedroom, because I figured that I didn't actually have enough room in the main bedroom. So I just made a little bit up here, and it doesn't look too bad, honestly. There was a ton of space that I needed to use up, so, you know. I've also enclosed this guy in crates, but he never needs to go to bed, so he's fine just staying there. For certain areas, I put boxes as far away as possible, or at least a good distance away from the places, because I like to have it looking like it's a bit more alive, so you get people walking up and down the corridors instead of just all of these guys standing still all the time. These guys move a bit as well, because I've put one there which is a little bit further away for these guys here, so they do actually have to move around a bit, keeps them fit and healthy. This is the banner here, and interestingly enough, this is not siege mode, because apparently it's accessible to zombies, so that's good. So this it's not in siege mode, so it's a perfectly functioning thing. As you can see, everyone's going to bed, and you can see they're going in the water, and you may be thinking, how are they going underwater if it's underwater? Well, I will show you that, and I also recorded a little bit of me actually building that, which was a pain in the backside, but it's worth it, because it's really cool. So yeah, that's basically the reason why there are a lot of storage bits like far away. I just like to make it look a bit more alive. As you can see, all these guys are sleeping. In fact, there is the captain right there. He shouldn't be sleeping there, but he does. He chooses to, or he gets bullied by the other guy. So yeah, here we go underground. And as you can see, if I have counted the beds perfectly, then yeah, there's all of the beds are filled up, and I've got 2 knights in here just to stop any bad behaviour from happening. But as you can see, it's really cool because you got people from lots of different classes on the ship. You got the main peasants, like the people that use the arrows, and you've got some anvil workers, you got shopkeepers, everything like that. It's really nice to have down here. And the fact that you only need 53 beds for 100 people is pretty great. And I will just put a clip up now of how I managed to build this room, because if we go into free mode, you can see that it's all underwater. Now, this was possibly the most difficult thing I've had to build in Colony Survival, and I haven't really built that many things, but it was really, really hard to build. So basically what I did was I made the basic room structure as it was here, and in case you're wondering why it's only 2 here instead of 3 high, it's because if it was 3 high, then it would show here, the tops of it would break through, which is how I did the boat. And also, as you can see, the boat is completely self-suspended. There is nothing holding it up. At the beginning, I did use a thing that I haven't actually got rid of yet to build the bottom of the boat, but other than that, it's completely self-supportive, and it's just really cool. It doesn't need any support from beneath the water. I built the outer structure, and then I had to fill it all in with stone I used, because I thought if I use stone, then I'll know what to break. I'll know to break the stone and not the wood. And a couple of times that went wrong, and I did actually break through this bit of the wall here, which didn't let any water in because I was quick enough to fill it back up, but I filled it up with stone, and I'm too scared to get rid of it and put some wood in. So that's why there's still stone there. Because the water in this game is very, very difficult to contain once it gets in. I was trying to make a mountain base, and I was trying to make a waterfall from the top of it, and it just went really, really wrong. And the water infinitely expanded outwards, and yeah, it didn't go well. So yeah, that's basically why it's like that. It was really difficult to build, but I think it paid off, because I think it's a really cool way of keeping them. Obviously, it doesn't make any physics sense, because obviously you wouldn't be able to have underwater parts of a ship that wants to move forwards. And I did also make quite a big design flaw when I was making this, in that the ship is kind of going backwards, because as you can see, the water slightly goes... It looks like you're going backwards, because that's the front of the ship, that's the back of the ship. And the biggest movement the sea does is left, which makes us look like we're going right, which is backwards, and then it only does a tiny bit right, so we're kind of going backwards. But other than that, it's a pretty good design, and it works pretty well. As you can see, everyone's waking up now. Everybody's complaining that they don't have stuff, but I don't really care about that. So yeah, it works. It's self-sufficient. It sustains itself. They have enough stuff to make their own food most of the time. And we've got plenty of protection inside and outside in case someone's planning a mutiny. Then we can have these knights fend them off. I did make some sails. I'm not the best at kind of creations from memory kind of thing. It doesn't look great, the sails, I have to say. But I did the best that I could personally do with what I had. I don't think it looks too bad. I was going to try and do a skull and crossbones, but I just thought, oh my god, I'm not going to be able to do that. So I just did an X, just to show we're a bit mean. And it's essentially a pirate ship. I did base it off my experience with Blackwake, that game. If you have any build suggestions, guys, please do give them to me in the comments below, because I would love to have a go at some of your challenges. Maybe I could try and make a cruise liner. I mean, this was hell. So if I did a cruise liner, or maybe a Titanic build, I don't know, I would not make an underground compartment like I did here, because that was not fun. I will try and get the save file in the description if I can figure out what bits of the save file need to be in it. I think it's just a couple of files. It shouldn't be big, it's like a couple megabytes maybe, hopefully. So yeah, I'll try and do that, and if not, then I guess you could just use this as inspiration, or you can just critique me and say how bad it is, which is also fine. If you did enjoy the video, guys, if you did enjoy the build summary, then please give the video a like, because it will help me out a lot, and it will let me know that you guys want more of these. The last video did reasonably well for a video that was not Subnautica, but we did not hit the 100 likes mark yet. I'm kind of recording this before that. Whether we do or not, I don't really know. So yeah, I can leave it here, guys. So if you did enjoy this build video, please give it a like. If you're feeling really, really generous, subscribe to Crunchy's David. Until next one, I'll see you guys in the next one. Try, my friends.